We think in this coming state election in Tasmania that major party vote might be closer to 60 rather than to 70. And that the independents, the minor parties and so forth will pick it up. It'll mean that, Jackie Lambie Network will have a pretty good day in the north. The Greens and other independents will have a pretty good day in the south. And it's a whole suite of issues around housing, around health, around infrastructure. All these things are feeding into this erosion of the major party vote. So I think housing is one of those, definitely in Tasmania, and it just sort of speaks into this further erosion. And I think there's also a story around that in terms of these by-elections that we saw in Queensland over the weekend. I mean, I think there is a degree of sort of portenting them for what's going to be coming in the state election in Queensland later this year. But the Anala one is particularly interesting because it was a 30% swing on primary against Labor, which was, incredible swing on primary votes.
Where did that 30% go? Because it didn't all go to the LNP, did it?
This is the interesting thing. It didn't all go to the LNP, but a sizable proportion of it did. And where it's the candidates that have done really well seem to be those candidates that came from within the Vietnamese community. There's a relatively large Vietnamese community in Anala, and those candidates, including the Liberal candidate, seem to have done particularly well. And I think this is the fascinating sort of strategic issue around that election is, now, we've been watching this major party vote erode. One of the bastions, particularly for Labor, one of the bastions of that loyal party vote had been these culturally diverse communities, particularly in the outer suburbs and middle suburbs of our major cities. We've now seen through the 2022 election, we had Fowler as the iconic example of that, but there are other examples of, it now looks like, I think it's pretty safe to say, it now looks like that diverse voter cohort is now on the move in the same way that all the other voter cohorts have been on the move, and this erosion of the two-party vote may be even extending into these diverse communities. If that's so, the sort of the strategic implications of that, even the implications of the types of candidates you stand in these communities becomes really important.
Yeah, all about authenticity as well. People aren't going to vote for empty suits anymore. They want someone that certainly has an affinity with them or their community. Simon, it's always fascinating to talk to you. We'll have to leave it there for today. We'll see you soon.